What's up, everybody? How's it going? Oh, no. Why is there music and stuff playing right now? What's up, everybody? How's it going? Happy Wrestling Wednesday, guys. Happy Wrestling Wednesday. How are you doing out there on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, evening, I guess? You know, all that other good stuff. I hope you all are having a good day. I have worked all day and then got a really good workout with the cousin, and then came over here to do the show. And then as I came over in the parking lot, I was walking around and I was trying to get to my car, but as I was going, I realized that it felt like it was fall. I felt like it was it was close to being like fall, but realistically there wasn't much, there wasn't any leaves down. It wasn't leaves. They were shells of the cicadas, those big giant fly looking bugs that only come around every 17 years. So I was walking and it sounded, "Hey Allison, how's it going? How are you, Allison?" We just started the show, so perfect timing. What's up, Lori? How's it going, Lori? How's it going? But I was kind of I was being grossed out a little bit because the damn cicada shells sounded like leaves. It sounded like it was fall outside because I was walking and crunching. But as I was walking and crunching, it actually turns out that they were cicadas. They were either like the actual cicadas or they were the shells that they're leaving everywhere. They got these freaking exoskeleton shells that they're leaving, and then they're going out. And I guess they're going to dig back into the ground and then wait another 17 years before they come back. I don't know exactly how. I don't know exactly how all that works. It's the weirdest things, though. What's up, Rick? How are you, brother? How is it going? Shaq Daddy, how are you, brother? How are you, man? How are you hanging? How's it hanging, man? How's it hanging? We're just chilling out here getting ready for our Wrestling Wednesday. Anything interesting in the wrestling world going on? I've been disconnected probably the past week, so I haven't really paid much attention to what was going on in the pro wrestling community, and it doesn't seem like I missed too much. I know that there were some people that were fired recently. Is my head still red? Some angles it's red. I don't know. Yeah, so we see some more people getting fired. You know, they're trying to have some budgetary movements for their company, as they do every couple of years. You guys know how the WWE does their annual firings, which I guess they haven't done that a lot recently, but they've done it, you know. They do it enough for people to catch on. They do it enough for people to catch on and for people to know, you know, for people to expect it to happen, you know. And, you know, when it comes to like the entertainment business, which is what wrestling is, which is what all sports are anyway. When it comes to that, though, you know, if you ain't doing well, man, they gotta replace you with somebody else who might do better. Brutal biz, guys, brutal biz. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Lori, yuck. Yeah, I know, Lori. They are gross, though. They are gross. Do you guys have cicadas up there in Massachusetts? I didn't see any while I was up there, but it wasn't like I didn't have a lot of time on my own to be able to check everything out either, though. So it was a little complicated. But I saw them. I did see them a little bit more north. I think I saw them in Delaware. Which was very interesting. It's always cool being able to travel a little bit and then having that go. So that is all good. Oop. Let me try to make sure that we're good here. Sorry, my computer's acting very slow right now because we're on. You know, as we do these live streams, it always kind of slows down the computer. So I always have to be careful with that. You know. Yeah, you only stayed up here for one day. I did, Allison. So, and that was the thing. I covered it a little bit in the last show where I was. Hold on, let me exit out of this so that I can get those distractions out of the way. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but I was only up there. I was only up there for a day. So I had a show up there in Rockland, Massachusetts, and then I had another show down in North Philly. So I had to head down there and try to get it going, try to do as much as I could. We did the show, did everything that I had to do while we had the show, and then that night, literally that night, right after the show, I drove 7 hours back down, and then so it was like it was actually like 8.5, almost 9 hours up from what is supposed to be a 6.5 hour drive, but it was actually 7 hours. Or no, it was actually 9.5, whatever, on the way up. On the way back, it was a lot easier. But I went up there. I didn't even go up there for one day, Allison. I went up there for 4 hours or 5 hours. Maybe five. Maybe it was 5 hours. But yes, it was up there. I was up there for about maybe 5 hours, and then I headed right directly back to North Philly, South Jersey, probably South Philly. I don't know. Somewhere in there. But but I had to head straight back because I had wrestling on Sunday as well. And now that wrestling's starting to come back, I'm going to be handling a bunch of schedules like that and dealing with the traveling and all the normal stuff that you actually have. So. Laura, damn, you're early. Yeah, a little bit. You did a show up here? No kidding. Did I miss it? You must have missed it, Laura. You must have missed it. Like 5 most, then you booked. Yeah, it might have been, it was probably like 5 hours most. It was probably 5 hours most, and then I had to get back on it and then get back. I spent a lot of time on the road that week. I listened to a bunch of podcasts and a bunch of music. And it was not entertaining. Very boring stuff. Oh, Shaq Daddy, how was work, man? With you, Jordane? Work was good, man. Work was good. Very slow, though. Very slow. I hate slow days. I've had a slow week, actually, with work so far. So hopefully it's going to pick back up a little bit tomorrow. I got a lot of shit I got to do tomorrow. So tomorrow's episode is probably going to be a little bit more early. And then Friday's going to be a little bit later. We'll have an earlier show tomorrow, later show on Friday. Let you guys know what's up with that. Probably do the show around 3:30 tomorrow. So that'll be pretty cool. That'll be a fun one. So that's the plans for the rest of the week, because I got a lot of things that I got to do to prepare for the next week after that, because that's just how it all goes. That's how it all goes, guys. I don't know what y'all expect from me. I do my best, man. I do my best. Allison, wow, I missed you. Next time, yeah, hopefully I'll promote it more next time and make sure that people are more aware that we're coming, that we got the show, and we do have a show coming up on in 3 weeks. I'll be wrestling Brian Malonis of Ring of Honor fame. So you should definitely check that out. Should have a lot of fun with that one. If you're there, though, please come and hang out and chit chat so that I can finally meet you as well, Allison, because you've been supporting me ever since. I think that I caught you on the what was it? The Nasty Leroy stream? Is that what it was? Something like that? I think that's what it was. I can't remember exactly though. It was slow for me too, Jordane. Damn, Shaq Dad. Exactly, brother. Hey, well, at least we know we're in the struggle together, And the main thing that we can do is be nice and prepared for tomorrow. Just be ready to rock and roll tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to start a new day. Hopefully tomorrow is going to be more busy so that we can make as much money as we need to at least pay the bills. We got to make sure that we keep those. So getting paid and getting laid sounds much better, right? Don't that sound pretty good? I think that sounds pretty good. Laura, my work has slowed down a bit, which helps. Not as mentally draining. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, because I think that mine and Shaq Daddy's, though, like our work depends on like if it's busy or not, depends on how much we're going to get paid. So if it's busier, we're going to get paid more. But if it's slower, then you might not even get paid because there ain't no work. So what are you going to do? And that's like every single one of my jobs. That's every single one of my jobs. So whenever I'm completely out of work, what the hell am I going to do? What am I going to do? I always find a way, though. It is what it is. I love that. Get paid, get laid. Yep, exactly. Yep, it was Leroy's stream. Yeah, I thought that. I was pretty sure that it was. I got to jump on some others. I got to jump on some other streams as well and have some more people on the Just Jordane show. And I will be doing that. The old one-man band over here, I'm going to start streaming or what's it called? Zooming. I've been wanting to do, so I'm really conflicted with that. I want to do a Zooms, but I don't want to get oh, there you go. Hey, Barry Jones, what's up, brother? How's it going? Have not seen Barry Jones in a long time. How have you been, Barry Jones? We're talking wrestling tonight, brother, so you got to stay here. We're going to talk about Piper and old Macho Man. And I do have to say, I love Piper, but I really thought that the Macho Man A&E documentary really shed some light on just on the Macho Man period as he is as a person, because he was a little bit of a head case. But aren't we all? Aren't we all? Aren't we all, guys? Or am I just the only one that's going to admit it? Am I the only one that's going to admit it, that we're all a little bit of a head case? All right, I'll take that. I'll be the only one to admit it. I'm cool with it. Laura, did you ever read your damn letter? Yes, of course. I read it that night. But I'll write you. I'll text you about that later in the DMs. Shaq Daddy. No, not Shaq Daddy. Sorry, brother. I already read Shaq Daddy. So Shaq Daddy don't want to get double dip now. We don't want to double dip. Laura, my work has slowed down a bit. Yep. Blocking my ears. Barry Jones, are my messages invisible? No, I hope not. I see him now at least. Doing good, been working, different shift. Oh, I got you, brother. Well, that sucks that you got to work too. You got to work a different shift, but at least you got work. That's, you can't complain about that. At least you have work. Laura, I lost 2 jobs because of COVID, but my security job or my security gig is coming back. Thank goodness. Hell yeah. Yeah. And I pretty much in the same boat right here. I'm still trying to stay on top of everything with it, but you know how that is, guys. Y'all know how that is. That's what it is. I'm back on days now. Awesome, Barry. So we're going to be seeing you more often, brother. That's awesome. I'm glad that you were able to make it to the show, though. Laura, yep, I am so normal. It's not funny. Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are, Laura. Like, I believe that horse shit. I don't believe that horse shit. I don't believe it. Prove it. Prove that you're normal. If you can. I don't think you can, because you're not normal. Oh, man. All right. I got to watch that documentary on Macho Man. He was my favorite. Yes, you definitely do. You definitely should check out. I recommend the Roddy Piper and the freaking Macho Man documentary. If you're an ill-informed wrestling fan, or if you're a wrestling fan who's not familiar with the Attitude Era, then you should watch the Stone Cold documentary. But Stone Cold, like, I already knew everything in that documentary, so there wasn't any hot takes that I wasn't familiar with. Now, in the Roddy Piper one, there was some hot takes I wasn't familiar with. And in the A&E Macho Man, and that's going to be a fun one to talk about, because I know a lot of people, like, there was a lot of heat on that Macho Man episode, but I'm going to give you my perspective on that, because I don't think that it was heat. I don't think that they were trying to make the Macho Man look bad, because Macho Man is what he is. He is who he is. The only person that can make him look bad is himself. So I don't think that they were trying to screw with Macho Man's legacy or anything like that. But people are and were aware of how Macho Man handled Elizabeth, and you could assume that he probably treated a lot of the women that he dated like that. So, but we'll get to that as we go. But let's start with Roddy Piper. How about that, guys? Yeah, I want to start with Roddy Piper. It doesn't matter if you want to start with Roddy Piper, because that's what I want to start with. So Roddy Piper was awesome from the old Canada, the Canadian area, and then he stayed out in the Midwest majority of his time, out in Portland and that type of stuff. So he came, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with it or not, but he didn't really have much. He was kind of like an orphan kid running around all over the place. Somewhat homeless, but not really homeless. I mean, I think he lived with his dad, and his dad had a traveling job, so they traveled all over the places. Roddy Piper even stayed at a Native American reservation for a little while, and they don't like white people in those Native American reservations, just letting you guys know, because my grandmother was Native, or great-grandmother was Native American, great-great-grandmother probably, because my grandfather grew up on the reservation. But he got him and his mother got kicked off of the reservation because his mother had a baby with a white person, and them in that Ojibwa tribe, they don't play with that shit. So they were like, y'all gotta go, y'all gots to go. And then my great grandmother, I guess that she tried to go around to different places and stuff, but it never really worked out for her because all she knew was growing up on the reservation, and that was her life, and that was her culture there. And the culture is a big thing to miss out on once you're just abruptly kicked out like that. But once she had the baby, she went back to the tribe, and the tribe were like, okay, but I don't know anybody. This is the only person that I favor, other than my mom, So this is the only person that I've ever seen that I favor, and it's really cool seeing pictures of my grandfather because I look just like him. But he had a hard time growing up on that reservation, and then going to the Vietnam War, and then earning his right to be able to become an American citizen, and then all that other good stuff. So it was very interesting. But I'm trying to find out a lot more about our family because we don't know anything about our family. Like I know, you and Dreama and I have had these conversations with you guys, and we don't know a lot about our family history. So we're trying to look back and figure out as much as we can. We go to the Ancestry and all those different types of things. But it's fun. It's fun. All right. Oh, Mahoney Games. What's up, Mahoney Games? How are you, man? It's been a while, Mahoney. Hi, I'm back, and I'm just going to come out and say it. Macho Man is overrated. Macho Man is overrated in what way, Mahoney? In what way is he overrated? What is he overrated in? Is he overrated in character and personality, or is he overrated in professional wrestling ability and work rate? Which one, Mahoney? Which one? What's up, Stephanie? How are you? We have not seen Stephanie in a while. It's good to see you, Stephanie. We're talking about wrestling tonight. But anyway, heading back on to the Piper. But that was a cool thing, seeing that Piper lived on the reservation for a while, and they didn't like white people there. And my grandfather grew up on a reservation, and he's mixed. So seeing all of his pictures, he's half native, half white. He didn't know who his father was, but seeing his pictures and then seeing pictures of him on the reservation with his family, he's like the tall one in the pictures that I've seen, and it was so cool. It's really, really cool that that's one of the most badass things is being able to see that, being able to see some of our family that we never met, that we don't know anything about, but it's some type of a connection. It's some type of a connection to it, and that's really cool because we don't really have a lot of that. We didn't really have a lot of that. So watching the Piper documentary really had me thinking about our family and our family's history and how we've all had to deal with just a bunch of the chaos when it comes to growing up without parents and not, kind of like being foster kids and that type of stuff. So it's really cool. It's really it just sends you on some type of weird kind of like journey of self-discovery, or trying to. All right. Anyway, we'll continue on. Laura, question: if I can break off from wrestling tangent for a second, of course, you know how that is. As it's getting warmer here, and I don't do well in the heat, should I drink Gatorade instead of water if and when I walk? You should drink both. You definitely need to drink as much water as you can, staying as hydrated as possible. Now, if you are just walking, you'll probably be okay just drinking water and you'll be fine. But if you're like walking uphill, if the sun is out a lot and you're sweating a lot, you really want to replace those electrolytes, and you really want to try to make sure that you're getting those nutrients in you that will help you recover quicker. And if you require recovery, it'll probably be better to drink a little bit of Gatorade. Gatorade can dehydrate you if you only drink Gatorade, so you got to be careful with that, or you can dilute it with water. Maybe it really can't. Maybe it really can't. But or you can do the sugar-free Gatorade, whatever. But I would recommend if it's more intense, do both, Gatorade and water. I do both. If I'm going to drink Gatorade, you can bet your ass I'm still drinking some water with it. But I like to dilute it, and I keep a lot of water in me anyway as it is. So I'm always having those. Brian Hicks. I know Paul Jordane is my brother, and that's good enough for me. And I know that Brian Hicks is my brother, and that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me too. As long as we have each other, dude, like that's all that matters. And that's all that's always mattered to us anyway. So nothing else really matters because we got each other, And that was my brother too, by the way, guys. So I'm sure you guys have figured it out by now. Hopefully you figured it out. Stephanie, sorry, my grandson is watching you on YouTube under my account, LOL. That's all good. It's all good. Laura, you can answer later in a DM. Just wanted to ask while I remember. No, all good, Laura. Mahoney Games, his character was good, but got repetitive quick, which you don't want, and his wrestling ability was mediocre at best. Yeah, I could go with you on the wrestling ability. I don't think his wrestling ability was amazing. I don't think that it was that great. As far as a character, every character gets repetitive. I can't think of any character that didn't get repetitive, that stayed fresh. I can't think of any that stayed as fresh as they did when they first started. Maybe The Undertaker did a pretty good job of changing it up and doing different things. The Undertaker or Stone Cold stayed Stone Cold once he became Stone Cold. The Rock stayed The Rock, but just with these little. And Chris Jericho is probably the perfect example because he's always been Chris Jericho, but he would add different aspects of his personality to get you to either boo or cheer him. So yeah, that's true. But I think that Mahoney, that Macho did focus more on the character, and maybe his wrestling was mediocre, but you don't really. If you're a compelling character, you don't really have to do a lot of the best wrestling anyway. But yeah, I could see where you're talking about the wrestling ability was mediocre, especially if you're comparing it to today's wrestlers. And thank you, Stephanie Wright, who has subscribed. We do appreciate that. We always appreciate our subscriptions here. So thank you, Stephanie, for subscribing. And then, guys, if you guys can go on and click that like button or share and all that other good shit that I always forget to tell you guys to do. It doesn't matter. If you like it, you like it. Eventually, if you're going to find it, you're going to find it. That's just part of it. Barry Jones, I remember Piper being in the opening match or second match in Georgia. This was back in the 70s. Barry Jones, that's fucking crazy, dude. That is crazy that you did that. Hey, Laura, thank you so much for liking the page. See? We get these different pop-ups whenever people like the pages. I've been thinking about having like some type of a subscription goal on there so we can try to like pump up the subscriptions and stuff like that. But I don't know how to do any of that stuff yet, so we'll figure that out. But I do have another idea. Hey, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Rick having our back as well with the Facebook like, and it always helps us so much. So thank you so much. And Lori, thank you, Lori. You guys are always number one, and I appreciate you guys helping with the Facebook algorithms, with the YouTube algorithms, wherever you happen to be watching from. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Laura, okay, cool. Thanks. I want to start walking again. I have slacked off for a long time. Yeah, but when you do start walking, Laura, just make sure that you take your time. Start with a certain percentage. Hey, Barry Jones, thank you, brother. There you go. Barry Jones has liked it, and Michael Joseph Smith. Thank you, Michael Joseph Smith again. Oh, I am getting just overwhelmed with all of the Facebook likes on here. So thank you guys so much for that. You guys are awesome. Barry Jones with that last like. Thank you, Barry Jones. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate you guys pumping our stuff out here as much as we can. Hey, there goes Shy. Shy has made it into the Instagram chat. Sorry, Shy, Instagram is dried up today. We don't have many people over there. Allison might still be over there, but if you head on over to YouTube and Facebook, you will find a lot more people. So it's cool. It's cool. All right. Shaq Daddy, I'm back. Glad you're back, brother. Mahoney Games. Brett was always Brett, and he is the best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be. Meh. He didn't have that personality though, bro. Brett was Brett, but he didn't have that personality. He wasn't a sexy boy like Shawn Michaels. That's why Vince McMahon chose Shawn Michaels over Bret Hart. Obviously, bro. You know, come on, Mahoney. What you thinking? But I loved. I'm trying to push Shawn Michaels onto you, but I prefer Bret Hart over Shawn Michaels. So I'm with you on that, Mahoney. I can't even argue. Because I'm more of a Bret guy. I'm totally way more of a Bret guy. But yeah. He's good. He's the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. You know, that's cool. That's cool. Awesome. Allison is still there. Glad that you're still there, Allison. That is awesome. Oh, hey, we got another one. Thank you. Oh, Laura has shared now. Thank you, Laura, for sharing. All of this little bit of stuff helps, guys. All of it helps. It's just one of those things that helps push the algorithms out so that we can kind of hack the system and get our stuff, get this little pirate ship pushed off to as many people as we can so that we can try to build it up. And we can try to get people who may not be familiar with what Jordane is and what Jordane is about, and they can see, hey, man, this fucking show's really cool. Sorry, I do say bad words, and I don't edit myself. I have seen live shows where people edit themselves, and it's so cringe. It's some of the most cringe shit. Hey, Erwin, thank you, brother. Thank you, Erwin, for liking the post. You are the man, and you're going to boost us up with many more views. Thank you, Erwin. That is awesome. And I've always seen you supporting me on Facebook. And Erwin, I appreciate all of your support, man. Not only on the live streams that we have going on right now, but on everything. But I just want you to know, man, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. And you're helping us push this out to many, many more people, as many people as we can. Because hey, we're just trying to spread that evangel, baby. The Jordane show, Just Jordane show, is where you want to be. Laura, 86 episodes in. Not sure if I like the podcast or just bored. LOL. Hey, you might as well do 100 more. Let's get to 186, and then maybe you'll have more of an idea if you really like it or not. And don't forget that 100 episode 100, we will be reviewing episode 1 of the Just Jordane podcast, and then episode 101 I'll probably see if I can get a couple of our regulars on the show to zoom on here for fun. Barry Jones, Piper was multidimensional. He was a great announcer with Gordon Sully. That was where I was about to get to. So what I really liked about the Piper documentary was they were showing, and they like helped you realize the build that they had, because Piper was brought in. It was with Gordon Sully. Piper he started out at a promotion and I don't remember the promotion. I think it might have been Georgia. Maybe it was with Gordon Sully, so maybe it was Gulf Coast Wrestling or Georgia Championship Wrestling. Anyway, I'm not the best with specific details with that type of stuff. But the build of him just being a commentator and then eventually building himself up to the point to where people wanted to see him get his ass kicked, and then he's like whooping people's asses too, and you start realizing like, oh no, this fucking Piper guy might be a little bit of a badass. He might be fucking awesome. And I love the way that he started out, because he Championship Wrestling from Georgia. Thank you, Barry Jones. Damn it. Championship Wrestling from Georgia. Just like Championship Wrestling from Florida, but Championship Wrestling from Georgia. Gotta love it, brother. Gotta love it. Oh, man. All right. Mahoney Games. It pains me to say this, as I consider him the greatest of all time, but Jericho is a mockery of his former self and going to ruin his legacy. Here's the thing about Jericho. If we gotta wait it out a little bit. We gotta wait it out and see if Jericho is this genius who can get people talking, because I feel like he's a heel. He's a bad guy. He's supposed to be washed up, but he's champ. But he's still top. He's still top dog. So he let himself get a little bit out of shape. He's a little bit obnoxious. He works the heel like he's he thinks about every little thing that he's doing. So I'm pretty sure he's aware of what his body looks like too. And people are shitting on him, but he wants some type of a reaction. And that whole ruin his legacy thing, people are saying that it's very, very hard to ruin your legacy. I would think that Jericho, in order for Jericho to ruin his legacy, he would have to do something ridiculously dumb that's like illegal. And then like Chris Benoit, like some Chris Benoit type shit. Maybe not that brutal, but like something where it's like where everybody will just be completely turned off. But right now, he's just old and fat. Now, if he got rid of the fat and he started showing some type of improvement, well, there's a storyline right there. There's its own storyline. So I'm hoping that Jericho, as part of his character development of the Chris Jericho that he's done throughout the years, I'm hoping that he let himself get out of shape. He let himself get out of the good look shape. Maybe he's still in. I mean, he can still wrestle, obviously. Probably can't wrestle as well, but maybe I'm giving him too much credit. Maybe he's just partying and he's just getting by. But I'm hoping that that's what it is. That's what I'm hoping. Barry Jones, I can also remember Brett in the opening match in Georgia. Dude, that's fucking crazy, man. You've seen them all, brother. Barry Jones, you have seen them all, and that's crazy, dude. That's just crazy. Mahoney Games loves Shawn Michaels, but Brett feels like a badass when his music hits. I can't even explain it. He is just the man. Mahoney, I'm with you on that. That's why I like Brett. I like Brett because I thought he was a badass, and he was going to technically tear your ass up and whoop that ass. And that's the thing. And you know, I've said this on the streams before. I appreciate Shawn Michaels and his wrestling ability and the character and all that other good stuff. When I was a kid, didn't give a fuck about him. Not into it. Don't give a shit about no sexy boy. Don't care about no grown man dancing. Don't care about any of that. So Shawn Michaels I never connected with Shawn Michaels. Definitely connected with Bret Hart. So I think I'm with you, Mahoney, on that one. Shy has entered the chat. We love Rum. We love everyone who loves the end game. Thank you, Shy. You are awesome for that. Thank you, Shy. Hashtag Team Jordane and hashtag Team Dreama. I am amazed. I am still being mostly nice. I'm amazed too. Let's see. Barry Jones. He would whoop your ass wearing a suit. Wearing a suit. That's the way to go, though. That's the way to go. If you're gonna whoop some ass, wear that suit and look good. Look good. Barry Jones, he puts his guys overs. That's what I like. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, brother. I'm with you on that one. Shy. Shaq Daddy, yeah, it was tiring and slow, talking about his day. I'm seeing 2 new photos behind you on your right. This is my right. You mean that one and that one? Do you mean these 2, Shy? They've been there. They've been there ever since Alex came here for the Sunday show that we did a couple weeks ago. Oh, Barry Jones, I got you. Barry Jones. That makes sense. Yes, Shy. I'm sorry. Now I see your comment. Now I caught up. I'm glad that you said that. I should have mentioned that earlier. Barry Jones, Jericho, got you, brother. All right, guys. Right now, it's about that time. I'm going to hashtag IHTP. I will BRB, and then we will continue on the show. I'll finish up the Piper conversation, and then we'll move on to a little bit of Macho Man. So just give me a sec. Let me go to the urination station, and I will BRB. here we go. We are back again. Back again. Allison is still there. Thank you, Allison. And Miss Kitty Cadaver has joined. Thank you, Miss Kitty. Glad to see you here. And then, sorry if my comments are late. My TV is delayed. All good, Mahoney Games. We are. I'm still able to catch up a little bit and keep us on track. So I think that we're still good to go. Shy, yes, my bad. Maybe I didn't realize it before. Ha ha ha. Maybe he was too busy listening to your ranting and funny stories. Probably. That's probably what it is. You know, I like to rant though, guys. Y'all know I like to rant. But that's just part of the game. But I did love the Piper, man, just looking at where Piper came from to wrestling in front of 90,000 people at the freaking Silver Dome. That was crazy. And I love the little piece in there where they had Steamboat and Piper saying that they were trying to steal the show from Hogan and Andre, and Hogan was like, "Oh, I don't think they would ever do that. I don't think they were trying. They were trying. They wanted people to be like, yeah, we came for Hogan and Andre, but goddamn, man, Macho and Steamboat was just the way it was, you know? That's just the way that it was." And they were trying. They were doing their best. It was really good, though. All right. Oh, man. Shy. No. Laura, Papa Jordane going to IHTP. What's up, Heather? Papa Jordane going to IHTP, but the question is, does he shake 1, 2, or 3? Inquiring minds want to know. And if you shake more than 3, you are playing with it, guys, just so you know. Mahoney, you are back, but you're not in black. No, I'm not in black. I'm back in gray. Tomorrow I might wear black. Maybe. Shaq Daddy, that was quick. Yeah, usually I pee pretty quickly. I mean, literally, my bathroom is right next door to this. My bathroom is 4 steps away. 4 steps away. It's not very hard to reach it over here. So it's good. It's good. Laura, yes, Shaq, I think he lied. He never goes that quick. I always go that quick. Well, maybe not every time, not always, but I do go quick. I go quick. Sometimes I go slow. Sometimes I go fast. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with it, really. I can't even keep up with myself, so I don't know what you guys are thinking. Yeah, I even wonder how he is so quick for the IHTP moment. Because I don't have to pull my pants down and sit on the toilet. I just walk up and pee, guys. I walk up and pee. I don't know if you guys know how guys pee. Like we sometimes we can pee standing up. Surprising. Laura, it's hilarious how we all know the normal time he is going for IHTP. I know, it's ridiculous. I can't even go for a pee without getting shit by people online. Like I'm trying to just use the bathroom and relieve my bladder, and I'm just getting shit from people. Shit from people. You didn't pee that fast. What were you doing in there? What did you do? Why were you doing that? I don't know. I was trying. I was doing my best, but it didn't really work that well. Lisa, how are you? Barry Jones, I'm glad I don't pay attention to that. Barry Jones, I'm glad you don't pay attention to that too, brother. I'm glad you don't pay attention to that too. So at least I don't have to worry about you giving me shit for taking a fast pee. I took it fast because I'm worried. I want to go fast. I want to make sure that I have plenty of time to entertain you guys. But you guys obviously don't want me to entertain you. You want to freaking listen to me not pee or listen to me pee. Or guess how many times I shook it? I don't know. I don't even know at this point. Anyway, finishing up the Piper dog. I love the Piper dog. I thought it was really cool, especially whenever they added in the post-death footage that they had of him in his conversation, and a lot of the old documentaries that he was in when they were talking about his past life and the things that he'd been through. And Piper is one of those legit solid, man, one of those exciting wrestlers to watch. Kind of reminds me of like a Terry Funk type, a little bit younger, obviously, and but just out there and wild, just a wild man. And those wild men are fun to watch because you never know what the hell they're going to do. You don't know what the hell they're going to do. But I think that Piper's promos were probably better than his wrestling. And he was so good. He was such a good talker. He was so good at just getting people to just buy right into everything and just go crazy, man. Go crazy. It was ridiculous. Shy, I really am rolling on the floor. My roommates may think I have gone mad. You probably have gone mad, Shy. You probably have gone mad. That's just how it goes. Shy, 86 episodes. Oh my, seems we know so much about him. That's what's nice. He is so approachable. Yeah, you got to. I think you got it. I think that it's better. I think it's better for that. Yeah, you should be approachable. You should be especially if you do what I do, like when you do wrestling and stuff like that. It's way more important for you to be approachable. You have to be able to communicate with people, because we're dealing with people. Like, no matter what you do, you got to deal with people. No matter what you do, even if you're a mechanic and you deal with cars all day, you're working on people's cars. So you're trying to keep people happy. So you're still in the business of people. We're all in the business of people. Mahoney Games, are you entertaining us or are we entertaining you? Dude, probably both. Probably both. But I know you guys definitely entertain me. Definitely entertain me. So I ain't even going to worry about that, because you guys definitely entertain me. Barry Jones, and don't forget his love for coconuts. I don't love no coconuts, man. I don't give a shit about no coconuts, bro. I like coconut butter. Is it coconut butter I was thinking about? It might not be coconut butter. It might be something else. I don't know. That's awesome, Laura. When he came up here, it wasn't awkward. I felt like I was meeting an old friend. Yeah, me too. I felt like we know each other. We do know each other. That's what's crazy about it. We all get to know each other through this stuff, and we're all just communicating. We're all talking to each other. It's all, it's crazy how it all comes together like that, though, you know? It's very crazy. It's pretty fucking cool, though. All right, now we're going to go into Mahoney Games' favorite wrestler, the Macho Man Randy Savage. Piper, dum-dum. Piper. Yeah, Piper. Oh, God. Yeah. I was about to say, I don't know. What are you talking about me for? He's talking about Piper. Yeah, Piper, they had a gimmicked coconut, but then, and I still think this is a gimmick. I don't think that he hit him with the real coconut. I think that was a gimmick coconut, but they said it wasn't a gimmick coconut, because you still got to work people. You still got to work people. Even though kayfabe's dead, kayfabe's not dead. It's just another level. You just kayfabe at another level. So you act like, kayfabe, there's no such thing as kayfabe. But certain scenarios, there's still a little bit of kayfabe. There is. Just believe it or not, but the fans want to be on the inside, but they'll never actually be on the inside unless you're on the inside. That's just wrestling for you. That's the nature of professional wrestling, is keeping these little weird secrets and then keeping people wondering and questioning, were they for real? Were they not for real? Are they this or are they that? I don't know. That's what's fun, really fun about it. It's such a weird business, right? Shy, 9th episode from now will be our 100th episode. Wow, that's awesome. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy that it all came. It's crazy that it's all coming together like that. Rick saw Piper at a local show with his son a year before he died. Damn, Rick, that's crazy. MCW, actually, and I wasn't on that show, but I was wrestling for MCW. But I do remember. I do remember a year before he died. I do remember MCW had him, and it was his very last Piper's Pit. It was the very last Piper's Pit ever, because MCW had him do it, and he did it with I think it was with the Hellcats of MCW. But yeah, if you guys look it up, MCW Wrestling Piper's Pit, that's literally the last Piper's Pit. That's the last Piper's Pit that ever existed, because he passed away like a couple of days after that. So that's a crazy thing that MCW has, and they released it on their YouTube so that everybody could see it, because it's literally the last Piper's Pit before he passed away. And he's obviously very entertaining. Piper was Piper, man. Piper was very, very entertaining all the way through. Mahoney Games. Hogan is good at getting you in his hand, but can't wrestle. Don't you even try to disagree with me. Hogan is good at getting you in his hands, but can't wrestle. Don't you even try to disagree with me. I'm going to try. But I'm not really going to try because that's the, I know it's the cliche angle that people take that Hogan couldn't wrestle. Have you watched his Japanese stuff? Mahoney, watch Hogan's Japanese stuff and then tell me that he can't wrestle. Have you watched it? You got to tell me if you've watched his Japanese stuff or not. Let me know, Mahoney. Just let me know if he has or if you have seen that or not. Just let me know. Barry Jones, and that's the way it should be. Mahoney, kayfabe is dead. Have you heard of MJF? I've heard of MJF, but I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Barry Jones, kayfabe. Lisa Nolan, I met a few a long time ago growing up. Guess that's why I love wrestling like I do. Y'all do a great job. Thank you, Lisa. We do our best. We always try to do a good job. Ron, I had a request. I wanted to gift you something for your 100th episode. Would you like to accept an Amazon gift card? Or let me know what is needed for your studio. Will be my pleasure. Well, thank you so much, Shy. I think that we're good with everything here. But if you wanted to give us a Amazon gift card, and then we could do a giveaway on the show for people for our followers and stuff like that. That would be cool. That would be cool. So we would award our viewers who are always here with us, supporting us anyway. So I'm definitely cool with that. But yeah, we could talk about that. Now we can talk about that. So that's cool. Shy, Ron, I had a request. Oh no, I already read that. See, guys, I can't even keep up with my own self. Barry Jones, Hogan is a joke. I don't even know what you mean by Hogan is a joke, though, Barry. What does that even mean? Hogan is a joke. What do you mean Hogan's a joke? You mean if you were running a wrestling company and you had a wrestler like Hogan, you wouldn't use him, and you wouldn't use him as your main event guy, and you wouldn't drag in all those millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars? Because he was drawing people that Ric Flair couldn't draw. Ric Flair's a much better professional wrestler than Hulk Hogan. Obviously. Fucking obviously. No shit, right? No shit, brain. But Hogan was the draw, man, for a long time. For a very, very long time. What do you mean Hogan's a joke? All right, Shaq Daddy. Oh, Shy. Mahoney Games. No, I haven't, and now I probably seem stupid. No, Mahoney. No, not quite. Not quite. If you watch Hogan in Japan, and I can send you some, Mahoney. If you watch Hogan in Japan, maybe we'll do a watch along of Hogan in Japan, because there's probably no copyright strikes that we'll get on that. So we might do that. We might do that, Mahoney. Mahoney, we might do that. So, but if you go back and watch Hogan in Japan, way more wrestling. He still does his Hogan shtick. He still does that stuff, but he does so much less of it. Because it's a Japanese crowd, and the Japanese crowd's more worried about your athleticism and your performance and as a professional wrestler. So yeah, Mahoney, check him out, and then I don't know. I'm tempted to watch it ourselves so that we don't get Barry Jones. Sterling Golden was the shit. I'm with you on that, Barry Jones, because the Sterling Golden was a great fucking heel. Great fucking heel. I love Sterling Golden. But that transition that they made into Hulk Hogan whenever he made it to the WWE, they found a formula that works. Now, I know. So let's think about this. So we know that Hogan sucks in the ring, professional. Like he don't have a good work rate. He's not a good wrestler, even though I disagree. He's not a good wrestler. You say all that. But the crazy thing about it is people still came to see him. They wanted to see Hogan. They wanted to see that. It was almost as if it wasn't about the wrestling. It's almost as if it was about Hogan as the character or as the persona or as the person. Because I'm the person. Like, I'm putting on a persona as I do the show because I want to be entertaining. But it's more, this is me. This is me. If you talk to me, this is me. So there's persona, there's stuff that we play up, but not so much. Not so much. Like That's that weird balance. Wrestling's weird like that. Nasty Leroy, how are you, brother? We were just talking about you. We got to do another live, Leroy. It's been a long time, brother. It's been a long time. I got to see if I can get you on my my regular stream instead of just the Instagram. We got to do more, man. We got to do more. I can't wait till I'm back down there, and I have not forgot about you. We're going to do something. I can't wait. Shy, Subway gift card, LOL. Barry Jones, now, he wasn't a wrestler, he was an entertainer. He was a professional wrestler, and professional wrestlers are entertainers. He didn't have a legitimate background, but they stopped doing wrestlers with legitimate backgrounds in the 1930s and 40s. So it wasn't like, you know, there were two camps in professional wrestling at a certain point. Half the professional wrestling industry. Hey, what do we got? Lisa Nolan has liked. Thank you, Lisa, for giving us a like on Facebook, which helps boost our morale more than anything. It just boosts our morale, but it also boosts our algorithm. So thank you for that. We definitely appreciate it, Lisa. So always, hey, give us a share too. Why not? Give us a share while you're at it. Go on. Click that like button. And on YouTube, you can click that like button as well, and we'll keep it moving. But where was I, guys? Where was I before? Oh, Hogan. Yeah, Hogan, he was an entertainer, but we're all entertainers. There was a point in the wrestling business when you had to be a legitimate pro wrestler, but the promoters at the time in New York, Vince McMahon's grandfather, decided, along with Toots Mondt and a couple other names, they decided that if they have complete control of at least their own promotion, they would be able to push it out. So in order to be able to push things out to a wider audience, the wrestling audience is only a certain percentage of people. In order for you to reach a larger audience, you can't really worry too much about you have to find guys who have some type of a connection, and you teach them the wrestling. And that was where, and WWE does that to this day. They do that to this day, but they've been doing it since it was the WWF, or since it was Capital Wrestling, since since it was first started way back then. They figured out, and we've known kayfabe. Oh yeah, kayfabe. They've been writing in the newspapers since the 1930s that professional wrestling isn't a legitimate competition, even though it is a legitimate competition, because we are competing with each other to have the best fucking shows. It's 100% a competition. You can't even take that away from anybody. We're all competing with each other to have the best fucking reaction from the show. So that's horseshit if you want to say that it's not a competition, because it is. It is. But when it comes to, the fucking, all the other horseshit to it, and that's why they started with all the different personality types. You had different personality types to connect to different personality types in the audience, so that you get these different people who react differently, and then they all start doing it. So it's very interesting to see the evolution of professional wrestling from when it first started all the way up until now. And there's videos on YouTube, guys. You can go back, watch some of the very, very early professional wrestling stuff. There you go, Nasty Leroy. Thank you. I'm a professional wrestler. I'm a storyteller. We're storytellers we're pro wrestlers. We're more storytellers than anything. Right, Leroy? That's cool. That's so cool. I know it was all good. You was talking about me, and I wonder what you was talking about. Yeah, Leroy, I'm just chit-chatting right now, brother. I'm just trying to make sure that that it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good. So anyway, let's I'll go back to the chats here, because we're getting backed up on the chats. Sorry about that, guys. I'll catch up with you. Barry Jones, some people are saying, who the hell is Sterling Golden? I know. There's going to be a lot of people saying that. There's going to be a lot of people saying, like, who the hell is Sterling Golden? What are you talking about? Well, we're sitting here talking about Hulk Hogan. Do the math. Laura, Mama Laura is going to have to help you in the studio also, since all your people are in Florida. Yeah. Damn, I might need to get paid now. I know, right? Wrestling manager and now producer. Dang. Hey, whatever works. As long as you're helping out and making the show better, that's all I care about, Laura. You know that, Mama Laura. Yeah, Shy, I got him steak tips. She did give me steak tips. Oh, yeah, and the Nutty Buddies, bananas and oranges. And those oranges were delish. I did finish the bananas, but the oranges they lasted obviously a little bit longer, so they were so good. Poor man didn't get to eat a hot meal before his match. No, I didn't. And I rarely do whenever I have big trips like that. I rarely do. Like those big trips like that. Normally we'll get something to eat afterwards, but I didn't even have time to do it afterwards. I just had to get on the road because I was going to start with about 4 hours of sleep, and then the more time that I waited, I was losing less sleep, and I wanted to at least get 3 hours of sleep before my Sunday match. And I didn't. I got like 2.5 hours. It was probably closer to 2 hours, but hey, what are you going to do? You can't really complain about that. What's up, Heather? How are you over there? How are you doing over there on the IG? We're just over here chit-chatting. We got wrestling conversation going on. We're talking about Macho Man and A&D. But Hogan, really. We're talking about Hogan right now and pro wrestling. And you guys know I go on my wrestling history tangents. I've been studying this shit all my life, guys. Wrestling was what I had when I was a kid. Lisa, who was your favorite wrestler when you were growing up? My favorite wrestlers were Stone Cold Steve Austin and Eddie Guerrero. Those are the first two that come to mind. Now, when I was a young lad, I remember liking The Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. But I liked wrestling for a while, and I was a big Hogan fan as a little young kid. Like, I'm talking like 4 or 5. But then when I was like 8 or 9, I got reintroduced to wrestling. And when I got reintroduced to wrestling, it was Monday Nitro, and it was Eddie Guerrero coming out, and he had his white jumpsuit with flames on it, singlet. He had his white singlet with flames on it, pants singlet, and I just remember thinking, man, this guy's awesome. And then doing the frog splash. After I saw him do the frog splash, all I did was frog splashes to my pillows. All I did was frog splashes to my pillows. Official Nasty Leroy, hashtag fuck Hulk Hogan. I know there's a lot of people that say that too. Bunch of people that say fuck Hulk Hogan. Shy, oh man, thank you, Laura. That was really kind of you. Loads of love for you, sweetie. Yes, and I thank you too. Loads of love for you, Laura, because I appreciate that. Barry Jones, growing up in the South, watching has me jaded. Barry Jones, that's the problem. If you're from the South, you have your Southern style professional wrestling, which is way more realistic and way more, it's like Southern professional wrestling is much closer to Japanese style, because the Japanese style is more realistic. They're more sports based, but they were started by Ricky Dozan and Lou Thez back in the 1940s and 50s, I think it was. My years might be off. I might have to reread my books again. But they, like, Ricky Dozan was one of the first, and he was Korean, but he couldn't say that he was Korean. They were in Japan, and they started a Japanese promotion. And was it New Japan? I don't remember the name of it might have been New Japan, but it was Lou Thez and Ricky Dozan. And Lou Thez would fly over there pretty often towards the end of his career, but he still had enough of a name to be able to draw enough in Japan to have it all working. So I think that that's the problem, because I grew up in the South, Barry, myself, and then all the wrestling that I was into was that intense, like, I'm gonna fight you, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth, let's fucking rock and roll. And more northern wrestling is less about that and more about the hokey entertainment bullshit. But take your pick. Figure out what you like. Nasty Leroy, the first time I watched wrestling was ECW. I found it through a commercial. First wrestler I saw was New Jack. Oh, New Jack will have you hooked 100%. If New Jack is the first wrestler, dude, if New Jack's the first wrestler you ever saw, brother, you're all in. You're all in. Was New Jack, then I saw Rob Van Dam, and then later Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, and Taz in Philly. Dude, yeah, because you're from Philly, Nasty Leroy. That's fucking awesome. I think Ricky doesn't I think Ricky doesn't started in All Japan. Oh, All Japan. Yeah, Ricky Dozan. Yeah, it might have been All Japan. Nasty Leroy. I got to look that up. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite remember. It might have been All Japan, but All Japan makes sense because that was Giant Baba's, and Antonio Inoki was New Japan. Laura, thank you, Shy. I will always keep him going if I can get to the matches. I hate that I can't June 11th. That's okay. Hoping he is staying in town for that Saturday. I'm off that day. We will see. We'll see about that date because I'm not quite sure about my dates for that weekend yet. Mahoney Games. Japan is my favorite because it feels real. Me too. Me too. It's the style. It's the style. Japan is my favorite because it feels real. And I'm not saying anything is fake, but when you have big lights and TV monitors on your ring posts, I don't care. No disrespect to anyone, but it's true. Yeah, because now you know that, like, whenever, in order that you have to lose your you have to, like, suspend your disbelief. Okay, I don't believe this stuff. I know it's all theater, but I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna enjoy the show for what it is. I'm gonna root for who I want to root to. I'm gonna yell at whoever I want to yell at. That's what you want. That's one of the best things that you could do. But the thing about that Mahoney Games is Japan being started by Ricky Dozan and Luthez. Luthez was way more about the real wrestling. He was a real wrestler, and he actually worked for the United States Army, teaching people hand-to-hand combat during Vietnam, I think it was. Might have been the Korean conflict. It might have been one of those two, but I don't remember exactly. But it was Luthez and old Luthez and Ricky Dozan started All Japan. It was All Japan. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Mahoney. Mahoney, it was All Japan, I think. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Barry Jones, me too. I fancy myself a wrestling historian. LOL. I don't fancy myself a wrestling historian. But I love wrestling, and I love wrestling history. I love everything about it. It's just it's such a fascinating business to me that I just went all in when I was very, very young. I mean, and as you're growing up, when you're a young kid and you don't have any male figures growing up, you gravitate to wherever you can find those figures at. And then I found those figures on wrestling television. All of wrestling was what really got me in and really motivated me. That's the only reason I'm in shape. That's the only reason I've done half the things I've ever done in my life was because of professional wrestling, and because I just love the business for what it is. It is what it is. You know, you love it. You'll sacrifice everything for it because that's where you want to be. That's what you want to be doing. So I'm living my dreams every weekend whenever I'm actually out wrestling. And it's just great because I still have these moments where I'm sitting here thinking to myself, damn, am I really going to do that? Yeah, that's me. I'm in the ring. I'm doing my shit, man. And sometimes you get jaded. Sometimes it's very easy, especially when you've been wrestling as long as I have, it's very easy to try to convince yourself that. But you just have to try. You have to try. Yeah, I think I'm looking to self in like the late 90s and 2000s. I moved to Texas for a little bit, then Florida, and then I watched a little bit of WCW before they were closed. Yeah, but ECW, dude, ECW is a good one. ECW is a good one because I had WCW and then I had WWF. Well, I originally had WWF when I was very, very young. And then I didn't pay close attention to it. I didn't know how to get up with it. And then my cousin watched Saturday morning wrestling. So as soon as I discovered that he liked wrestling, I just jumped right into wrestling, and I was all in. I was all in with that. And I couldn't help it. I just couldn't help it. Lori, how did you end up wrestling for New England Wrestling? New England All-Star Wrestling. So New England All-Star Wrestling, The promoter who runs New England All-Star Wrestling also did production for MCW, which is Maryland Championship Wrestling. And he and I had some conversations in the past, just talking about wrestling and, normal stuff like that. And then he decided himself that he was going to do a show. And since he's not from the area, he's from Massachusetts, he was like, hey, man, this guy, he's got something going on. Like, maybe I can book him and get him on the shows. So he got me, he wrote me and was like, hey, man, I got a new promotion I'm going to be promoting. I'm trying to, get as good of a roster as I can, especially people like not too expensive, because I wasn't too expensive, and I'm not still too expensive because I don't have international or national exposure, but I'm good and I know what I'm doing. So there's a tit for tat. There's a tit for tat. You can get a little bit of both. And then after that, I was like, all right, cool, man. So we worked out everything, and then I just started coming up there. And then the more that we talked, the more I realized how serious he was about the business as a whole, the professional wrestling business as a whole. And I was like, yeah, man, I gotta work with this guy because he's serious, and I want to be around serious people. Barry Jones, AEW is more like old Southern wrestling. No, it's not. You mean that acrobats? You mean you're watching acrobats run around and flip around and do all kinds of horse shit? Sure, there might be some matches that are like that, but I wouldn't say AEW is like that at all. AEW is hard to watch sometimes. Not always, not all, but a lot of times. A lot of times. Barry Jones, Luthez was a shooter. 100% Luthez was a shooter. 100%. Mahoney Games on Saturday. I am a huge fan. And I still couldn't figure out... not Mahoney Games. I'm sorry, Laura. And I still couldn't figure out some real moves over some acting, especially with Ron's opponent going after his leg. Yeah, I can tell you, spoiler alert, a lot of that shit hurt. Barry Jones, I know what I know. And I try to find out new stuff as often as I can. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Because nobody knows everything. And as soon as somebody tries to convince you that they do, move on. Don't waste your time. They ain't worth the time because they're wasting your time on purpose. Laura, I started watching when I think I was about 10 or 11, going to a local WWF event at my local high school in like 1980, saw Chief Jay Strongbow. Chief Jay Strongbow. We do a Chief Jay Strongbow down in Florida event once a year. We have the Battle Royal for Chief Jay Strongbow. So that is awesome. And there are lots of chops being put out there. So good for, RIP Chief Jay Strongbow, SD Jones, and Andre. That's awesome. Watched wrestling on Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. and then 3 to 4. Then the flagship at 6:05 to 8:05. Barry, were those all different shows, or were they like repeats? Were they repeats, or what? How did that work? Nasty Leroy. Oh yeah, I'm definitely ECW, and being Dusty Rhodes fan, see you in the match. In my wrestling style, yeah, especially Dusty Rhodes. And then you saw Dusty Rhodes in ECW. You got to see Dusty Rhodes in ECW. Isn't that fucking awesome? And I know he wasn't capable of doing the best match that he could whenever he was younger, but he was in there with Steve Corino, and it was not bad, man. It was good shit, dude. Good shit. I love that. Mahoney Games, I'm about to get myself in a mess, but I think ECW was good. Love RBD, but looking back, it wasn't amazing. So Mahoney Games, I agree. I know this is going to give me now, Mahoney, you set me up. Why do I have to agree with you? Because now you set me up. Now I'm going to get the horse shit because I agree. I don't think that ECW was that good looking back on it. Looking back on it, they had lightning in a bottle, and they took advantage of that lightning in a bottle. But they did everything that they could do. To get as many people involved and excited about ECW wrestling as they could. But they couldn't go mainstream. TNN was their opportunity to go mainstream, and there was something missing that did not quite work. Was it the wrestlers? Was it the talent? Was it too violent? Because it can be too violent, where people will see it and they'll just be completely turned off and they'll be like, I'm not going to watch this. Had the completely opposite effect to me, but I was a young kid at the time, and my cousin was selling it to me like, oh man, you got to watch ECW, dude. This guy fucking took a cheese grater and grinded his forehead, and it was just so crazy. It was so real. And it was like, this is real wrestling. That was what ECW had, man. They had people saying that this is real wrestling. And I know, Roddy Piper today, we'll do Macho Man tomorrow, because I talked about Roddy Piper. We're not going to have time to talk about Macho Man because I got another 10 minutes or so. We don't have time to talk about Macho Man, so we're going to finish up just talking about wrestling in general, and we'll continue on. But I agree, Mahoney Games. I agree with you. Overrated, yes. Now, I plan on going back and watching all of their pay-per-views in a row so that I need to do a lot of tape study. I need some more ideas, but also I want to see if you're right, Mahoney. I want to see if I agree with you really. I want to see if I really agree with you, because I've went back and watched some of the older stuff recently, and meh. It gets a meh from me. Not all of it, but there's most of it. Most of it. Barry Jones, not all of it, but some of it. AEW. Yeah, Barry. Yeah. Like, yes, there's definitely some of it that does. They do have some of that Southern style, realistic pro wrestling, but, Lori, awesome. I always wondered that. Barry Jones, I seen Chief. Oh, Barry. 1-2. It was local Macon, Georgia. 3-4 was local Columbus. Oh, I got you. That's awesome. Mahoney Games. Okay, here's your homework. Watch Sean Spears versus Brian Pillman Jr. on AEW Dark if you want a good match and not a spot fest. Ooh, okay, Mahoney. I will check that out. That sounds good. Laura talking to Mahoney. Right on. Barry Jones. 1-2 was local Macon, Georgia. 3-4 was local Columbus, Georgia, and 605-805 was Atlanta. Damn, man, you had so much good wrestling. That's so crazy. Shy. Can I ask one lame question, Ron? Please, pardon me if the question makes no sense. I am new to wrestling. How did you stand up again when you hurt your knee so much? How did you pick him up with that? Adrenaline. You can do anything with adrenaline. So if you guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but this is anecdotal evidence whenever it comes to these stories where women get into a car wreck and their baby's trapped under their car, and then they lift the car off of their babies. I don't know if that's actually happened, but things similar to that have happened because of adrenaline. So there's a lot of things that you can do when your adrenaline kicks in because you don't feel that pain anymore. But the problem is you don't feel that pain right then because you're so, you don't feel the pain then. It's that night when you finally relax and everything's calming down. You don't have the roar of the crowd telling you to fuck him up. When you're calming down, that's when it happens. That's the problem. That's whenever you start feeling everything that your body's went through. But majority of the time, you just ignore it as good as you can. Unless they're sitting there punching the damn thing. I mean, Yeah, Barry Jones. I saw Chief when he was still Joe Scarpa. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Shy, I'm glad I sent you the link. Shy, Laura talking to Shy. Barry Jones, man, I have missed this shit. Glad to be back. Yeah, Barry, I'm glad that you're back, man. This is always fun. And just know, Barry, obviously, every day can be a wrestling day. We always talk about wrestling almost every day. But Wrestling Wednesday, baby. Wrestling Wednesday is whenever we just get in here. I find some documentaries, and then tomorrow I'm going to talk about Macho Man, so you know how that is. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Barry Jones, I'm old as shit. Yeah, aren't we all, brother? Aren't we all? And then, Nasty Leroy, brother. How are you? Crystal Massacre, how are you doing? Nasty Leroy said, yeah, I got to see him. And ECW, I got to see him in Ring of Honor as well. Oh, that's fucking awesome, dude. That's fucking awesome. And then a Nasty Leroy. I think personally, GCW, modern day ECW, the feel, the atmosphere, all that. That's why I love to wrestle for GCW. Yeah, I've always heard good things about GCW, and that sounds like pretty much what you get there. That's pretty much what you get there is like that ECW or kind of older CZW style pro wrestling, because CZW took the ECW thing and then they went ultra violent and they went really extreme with it. But then as CZW kind of came down, and then now we have like the new era of professional wrestling, and you have a lot of the GCW, and GCW is just tearing it up everywhere they go. So GCW is like the ones that are there now. Nasty Leroy said, you should check out New South Wrestling on IWTV. Have good storytelling matches, is really one of the top rising promotions in the Southeast. Dude, I will definitely check that out. And I love supporting our Southern professional wrestling. And it is New South Wrestling. I think I've heard of New South Wrestling. I don't know. I don't know if I've wrestled for them or not, but we'll see. All right. Laura. Come on, Ron. Go another hour. Oh, come on, Laura. You don't want to see me pee that many times. Mahoney, Laura. That's pretty cool. Barry, I'm old as hell. Aren't we all? One more. Terry Boulder. Yeah, Terry Boulder. I think more people are going to know about Terry Boulder, though. More people are going to be aware of Terry Boulder. So we're talking about real wrestling, NWA Power. Give me your thoughts. I like NWA Power. I like what they're doing. I would think that, in my honest opinion, I don't think that they need to go for so much of that retro feel, because I don't think that people really get into that retro feel. I think that like there are people that are nostalgic about that old studio style wrestling. But I think it's going to be a lot harder for today's generation of kids and fans to get into the smaller taped style, especially whenever you watch WWE and AEW and they have this massive fan groups. And when I was a kid, one of my favorite things was seeing the crowd reaction and seeing like how they got up. And I was like, man, dude, that's crazy. That's badass. How the hell did, like, wow, that's fucking insane. So it was one of those things. It just had you, the production value is really good too, and I'm not against the studio style wrestling. Obviously, that's what we've been doing for the past year and a half anyway because of COVID. So you got to do what you got to do, and you got to build storylines. But when it comes to competing with the other big boys, I want to see NWA doing, like, having a big show, like having their studio shows built to that big show. And I haven't seen like big shows that they're building to, and maybe I've missed it. Maybe I'm ill-informed on the matter. But I'll pay closer attention to that because I haven't been paying as close of attention to NWA like I should be. But they definitely have some good guys over there, Mahoney. They definitely have some good guys. Barry Jones, I would rather watch an indie match over any other shit. Over any of the other shit. There's some that I would watch. Daystone Wolf. Daystone Wolf has made it into the chat. Good to see you, Daystone Wolf. Hi, I missed yesterday's. Here now, may leave later. All good, Daystone Wolf. We're about to finish up right now anyway, so it is all good. Only old people like me. Well, Barry, it is what it is. It is what it is sometimes. Donnie Kung Fu Janela is one of their top guys, and he's also Joey's cousin. He is really good, and also got a guy named Cabana Man Dan, just really good, who's the New South champion. I've heard of Cabana Man Dan. That sounds like, that's a really good promotion, official Nasty Leroy. But you guys should check them out on IWTV. But make sure that you go and check out all of our wrestling projects. Go to New England All-Star Wrestling to check out where I'm going to be wrestling next in a few weeks. I'll be wrestling Brian Malonis. And I'm going to be whooping that ass. It's going to be a fight, though, because, Brian Malonis, he's a Ring of Honor wrestler. He's been all over the place. He's trying to come in and prove himself, and he wants to come in and take my belt. And Papa Jordane ain't about just letting somebody come in and take my shit. You ain't just going to come in and take my shit like that. So come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway, guys, I think that this has been a good episode. We're going to wrap it up here, and we're going to finish up here so that I can finish up the Macho Man tomorrow. We'll finish up Macho Man's doc tomorrow. With this one, I'm going to end it with Roddy Piper's the man. If you get an opportunity, go check out the Roddy Piper documentary on A&E. I enjoyed it. I already knew majority of the stuff, but I've read Piper's book, so I was already kind of in tune with everything. Macho is going to be very fun to go over because there's a lot of information that I was not aware of from the Macho Man. So that was very, very funny. But anyway, I have had a blast. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Mahoney Games, how do I watch it? It's on my social media, on my Facebook social media. I'll find another time, another way to do it, but it's on my social media. I know it's on my Facebook. It might be on my Twitter as well, but yeah, we'll see about that. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day. I'm going to run through the comments one more time before we get out of here. Let's see. Mahoney Games, how do I watch it? Great episode, Paul. Have a great night to you and everyone. Thank you, Laura. You have a great night as well. I think so. Not sure what his name was. Awesome Barry Jones. You all have a great night. Shaq Daddy, sorry you're going to eat, but you're going to miss us when we leave. I hope you all have a great night. Nasty Leroy, me and you got to talk, brother. Me and you got to talk. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a great night. I love you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll probably start about 3 p.m. I need to get it over with by 4. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll get that knocked out, rocking and rolling. Finish up that